Hello students, I would like to welcome you all to this video. In this video, I'm going to solve a bank reconciliation question in front of you guys. So the question that I have selected is October-November 2020, variant 3 and question number 2. So the question is the Anolia compared her bank balance for July 2020 with the bank balance of her cash book, and she provided the following information. So we have an overdraft balance shown in the cash book at 31st July 2020 3420. We have a direct debit payment dated 25th July 2020 had not yet been entered in the cash book. A check received from a customer on 12th July 2020 was dishonored. This dishonored check had not yet been recorded in the cash book. So the bank charges on the bank statement had not yet been entered in the cash book 45, and there are some unpresented checks and uncredited deposits. So we know that these transactions, the transaction number direct debit 350 and 665 the dishonored check, and 45 is the bank charges, that is not recorded in the cash book, means these transactions will goes to the updated cash book balance. So once we have to find out the updated cash book balance, and these the unpresented checks and uncredited deposits, that will goes to the bank reconciliation statement. So the first requirement is to calculate the corrected balance of the bank column in the cash book. So we can make a cash book format here in the working, and we know that if we have an overdraft balance, means that will be our credit balance. So we'll write down the balance BD here 3420, and if the next transaction is the direct debit, so direct debit is the charges, mean the payment. So the payment is not entered in the cash book, so we'll record here on the credit side because it's a payment. So 350 direct debit, that we will record here. And the next transaction is dishonored check. Dishonored check transaction comes on credit side because it also reduces our bank balance. So 665 will come up here. So we'll write down dishonored check. So that's another transaction. The last transaction is the bank charges. So bank charges will again comes on credit side. So the $45. So these are all the transactions. Now what we have to do, we have to balance off to find out the updated cash book balance. So we know that the credit side has the bigger value, so total the credit side is 3420 plus 350 plus 665 plus 45. So we'll get the total of credit side is 4480. So we'll write down 4480 4480. There is nothing to deduct, so 4480, that will be your new balance CD and balance BD. That's the updated cash book balance. Or we can simply do the working like this. So if we have a balance 3420 because it's an overdrawn balance, so we'll write down on in the negative figure in the brackets. So direct debit is a payment, so we'll know that we have to deduct this. So we'll simply deduct 350 from this. Dishonored check, again it's going to be reduced over bank balance, so we'll deduct this again, and bank charges, again it's going to be deducted from our bank balance. If we'll do our working like this, so we'll get the same answer 4480. that will be my cash book balance updated one. Next, this is the step 1. The first requirement is for the 4 marks. Now the next is we have to prepare the bank reconciliation statement, and to prepare the bank reconciliation statement I'm going to start from the bank cash book updated balance, because it says clearly identify the bank statement balance at that date. So we have to find out the bank statement balance. So I'm going to write down here the balance as per cash book updated, the updated balance that I have calculated. So it's a negative balance because all of these figures were negative. So we can also find out that this is on a credit side. So we'll write down 4480 as an overdraft balance. So I know that here are some unpresented checks and the uncredited deposits that will come up into the bank reconciliation statement. So the unpresented checks are the payments that we made, but it is not showing in the bank statement, so it is already deducted from this balance. So I'm going to add unpresented checks. So that will be 1290, mean I have to deduct this from this balance. So 1290, it gives me the balance of 3190. So I'll have 3190, it's still a negative number. So the next thing is I have to write down the uncredited deposits. So that will be less, because the uncredited deposit mean that's the amount that we deposit into the bank account, but it is not showing in the bank statement. So uncredited deposits is already adding into the cash book side. So we have to deduct this, and the number of this amount is 410. So we have to deduct this, so it also comes on a bracket. So now we are going to balance it off to get the answer. So the balance is 3190, so it's going to be edited because the both are negative numbers. So we'll get the answer 3600. So this will be my answer, and it's an overdraft balance. So we'll write down that will be my balance as per bank statement, and it's a negative number, so it's an overdraft. So I'll also write down is that's a debit balance or overdrawn balance. So this is the first question from the cash book, updated cash book, and the bank reconciliation statement. In the next question is again the BRS question. So this question is from the October-November 2022 variant 2, question number 3. So in this question it says that MG has been in business for a number of years as a furniture manufacturer. On 31st August 2022, the bank column of his cash book showed the business had 25,600 in the bank account balance, so it's a positive number, and the bank statement on this date showed a credit balance 24815. Again, it's a positive balance, as in the bank statement credit balance is a positive balance. So there are some transactions that were included only in cash book, so mean these transactions recorded in the cash book but not in the bank statement. So check paid to JW and check received from TH. So as we know that these transactions will write down as uncredited or unpresented, as we know that the payment that will be written as unpresented checks, and deposit mean check received from TH is mentioned as uncredited checks, deposits, or uncredited checks. So there is another thing, an error has been identified a standing order for rates 205 had incorrectly been recorded in the cash book as 255. So this error is in the cash book, so it means that needs to be corrected in the cash book. So we have recorded more payment, so we have to correct this. We'll see once we are going to solve this question. So there is another transactions that is only recorded in the bank statement, means these transactions need to be adjusted in the cash book balance. So the first requirement is we have to find out the updated cash book balance and bring down the updated cash book balance on 1st September 2022. So let's start this. So as we know, we already have this positive balance, so means a debit balance 25,600. So I'll write down here the balance brought down 25,600. So now I'm going to write these transactions that needs to be adjusted in the cash book. So we have here number one, we have an error. So that's a standing order for rates, means it's a payment of 205 has incorrectly recorded in the cash book as 255, means we have recorded more expense, more payment. So the $50 that we already deducted, so we have to add it back. So because the payment comes on credit side, it means we recorded more payment, so we have to debit this $50. That will be the error of standing order, or you can write down the rates error. So that's the first adjustment. So now the next transactions, there is another dishonored check received from RJ 420. Dishonored check comes here, so RJ will come up here, so it will be dishonored check. So the amount is 420. Insurance paid by direct debit, so insurance will come up here, 110 because it's a payment, and bank charges, again it's a payment, so that will come up here, 75. So this is the transactions. All the transaction has this date like 31st of August, so we'll write down here 31st of August, 31st of August, same date on all of these transactions, and then we'll find out the balance, the new updated balance. So we have here 25,600. So write down this total. It says 25,650. That's the bigger side, so we'll write down here, and we'll deduct this 25,650 less 420 less 110 less 75. So this will give me the new updated cash book balance 25,045. So I'll write down this as balance carried down, and then it will become my balance brought down, the new balance 25,045. So that's the updated balance that we have. This will come up on 1st of September, and it will be here on 31st of August. So that's the first portion, the requirement A. We have the updated cash book balance. Now if we will move on to the requirement B, it says that prepare the bank reconciliation statement. So there are two options, that either we can start this from the bank statement balance, or we can start this from the cash book balance. So in the previous question I've started from the cash book balance, and in this question I'm going to start this from the bank statement balance. So I'll write down the balance as per bank statement. As we already have this balance is written up there on top of this question, it says that we have a credit balance of 24815. So 24815 means it's a positive balance. So I'll write down here 24815. So in this format, so we know that we have to add the uncredited checks because it is not added deposits, those are not added here. So the uncredited checks that we have in the question is the deposit, so it's written here. That's the check received from TH is 910. So I'll write down here it's TH and it's 910, and I will add these two numbers, so I'll get the balance here is 24815 plus 910. So that gives me the total of 25,725. Now I will less from this balance the unpresented checks. So we have only one payment that is not recorded in the bank statement. It says check pays to JW, it's 680 unpresented. So 680 will come up here with the name of JW. So it says here JW 680. So I'll deduct this from this balance. So it says 25,725 less 680. So we'll get the balance of 25,045. So 25,045. This should be the same balance that we have in the bank statement. So balance as per cash book, the updated one. So this should be the same balance as we already made the cash book updated. So here you can see that if we got the same balance here and here, it means our question is correct. So if there is any difference comes, if we're going to start from the bank statement balance and come down to the cash book updated balance, and it should be the same as you find out or as you calculated here in the updated cash book. So here's the second question. If you have any comments or any question you need to ask, please write down into the comment box. Thank you very much.